Hey there, Sierra Green back again. Congratulations. Today's video completes your very first week and I've got a great one for you. In an earlier video, I shared with you that your FICO credit score is made up of more than just paying your bills on time. Well, it's time to dive a little deeper into how your credit score is calculated. When it comes to your FICO score, the place where most banks pull 90+% of the loans that you actually get underwritten, the score ranges from 300 to 850 traditionally. So that gives you 550 points to play with. Now, it's not going to give you exactly the 550 points to play with. Just remember that this is an overall average aggravator or overall combined points that everybody gets. But the score is broken down into 5 categories, and that's the important thing. Paying your bills on time is only 35% of your score. So 35% of that 550 points you have to play with is 192.5. Now, are you going to get exactly 192.5? No. That just means that if you combine every American score overall at 35%, then that 35% breaks down to 192.5. You can get 100 points. You might get 200 in that category, but it averages out to be there. But let's say if the lowest you can get is 300 and you pay your bills on time and do everything else wrong, that's not even 500 points, right? So that means that there are other variables out there that can increase or decrease your score. So that's why the next category that I'm going to talk about is the most important part, because it's the fastest way that you can gain or lose points. And I am talking about credit utilization. Credit utilization is how much you're spending on your credit card in relation to how much you have available that's left on your credit limit. That's 30% of your score. 30% of that 550 is 165. Once again, you won't get or lose exactly 165 points, but I have seen people go from a 700 to a 550 just by maxing out credit cards. Next, we've got to get into 15%, which is the age of credit, and that's broken down into 2 categories. How long have you been using credit, which is your overall age or your oldest account that is reporting, and the average age of all of your accounts combined. Now, you want to make sure that you don't open up a bunch of accounts in a short span of time. Because what that can do is, let's say you have one account open for 20 years and that's the only account. 2 things happen. You have one account open for 20 years and your average age of credit is 20 years, which means you're competing with people who have older credit files. Then you go and open up 4 accounts. What you just did is take that 20 years and divide it by 5. You went from a 20-year average user into a 4-year average user. While your oldest account is still 20 years, the average age of credit is only 4 years. So therefore, you might take a hit on your credit in that 82.5 point category. Could be 90 points, could be 70 points. But to break it down to you as a consumer and keep it simple, 15% of that 550 is 82.5. This takes me into the 4th and 5th category, which is both worth 10%. 10% of that 550 is 55 points. The 4th category is called types of credit. A lot of people will just tell you, hey, get a furniture account and get a secured credit card account. What you need is an overall mix of credit. We recommend at least 2 to 3 revolving accounts, at least 2 installment accounts, and at least 1 promissory and 1 specialty account, like an American Express open end that you have to pay in full at the end of the month. The more you have, the more it shows the banks that you know what you're doing, and you can maximize your points in that category. The final 10% of your score is the hard inquiries category. A lot of people don't look at inquiries a lot, but let's say you went to Bank of America with an 820 credit score today. Then you go to Wells Fargo tomorrow. Wells Fargo probably won't give you the loan with the 820 because they know that if Bank of America saw you with the 820 yesterday, they probably gave you a $40,000 to $50,000 loan. Therefore, they're not making the right decisions with the right amount of debt to income ratio, which makes it hard to be able to make a good lending decision on what you can pay back. Be sure that you are not applying for accounts that you don't need in a short span, because people with 800 plus scores get denied, guys. So to recap that, your credit score is broken down as 35% payment history, 30% utilization, 15% age of credit, 10% types of credit, and 10% inquiries, which makes up 100% of your score. Your score ranges from 300 to 850, giving you 550 points to play with, and that is the breakdown. Look, that was a lot, y'all, but I had to break it down for you today. If you need to, go back and watch this video again. This information contains literally the building blocks of a great credit score. My name is Sierra Green, guys. Thank you for watching, and remember, this is